So the topic is about cannabis awareness, and also about cannabis harm potential, like what we know about cannabis as. Your fan come करता है? So I welcome you all. My name is Dr. Sayyid Tahir Hassan. I am based at Kerala. I do my general practice, and yes, Shivraj, you can. So I have my general practice in Kerala, and I also have done a small course on cannabinoid medicine, and I've done all the research and studies that are available. So that is about me, and as usual, as it goes with every presentation, that this is just for your information purposes, so that we understand cannabis as medicine, and we understand how it can be used medically, right? So the father of cannabis medicine is Raphael Mechoulam, the Israeli scientist who actually discovered the endocannabinoid system and all the endocannabinoids in 1992. So he says that despite the mild addiction to cannabis and possible enhancement of addiction to substances of abuse when combined with cannabis, the therapeutic value of cannabinoids is too high to be put aside. And the most important saying, like about Joe Rogan, he said that it's a very strange thing when you make nature legal. Anything to do with nature, when it becomes illegal, then it's very strange. It's really strange. And the famous Bob Marley, he says that herb is the healing of a nation, and alcohol is destruction of the same. So let's begin our journey. So these are about my small courses that I've done, and I'm also a member of Society of Cannabis Clinicians, California. So when you think about cannabis, what exactly comes in your mind, right? So that is the first thing. This is what you see. Cannabis users are fakirs, babas. They are these stoners. They are these hippies. Why does cannabis has to go with this particular stereotype? Why? So we are going to change it. But actually, in true reality, cannabis is not this. Cannabis is this. So in the past, cannabis was used as a nerve tonic, like I've seen it is there in this presentation, and it was also used for infants relief, for infants colic, and it was also used for sleeping, for as a cough syrup. That was what they used to do in early 1920s or 30s, and today, see, the consumer profile is very huge. And according to the recent study by Grandview Research Inc., they say that the global legal marijuana market size is expected to reach $73.6 billion by 2027. This is today's cannabis. This is the present cannabis. And this is what we are here to discuss about. Now, whenever we talk about cannabis, the first question that comes to, is it the same as opium? Is it same as poppy? No, it is not. Okay, so the differences are very wide. There are so many differences. So you see the leaf of cannabis and the flower of opium, from which we get khashkash, as well as the flowers are used, the flower extract are used for the various medical purposes. So when we see how it affects, weed affects the frontal lobe, the front part of the lobe, and it also affects the cerebellum cognition. Okay, opium affects the moods, you know, and overdose of cannabis is never fatal because the endocannabinoid system is not there in brainstem. But the overdose of opium can be fatal. We have seen people dying from overdose of opium or morphine or codeine. Okay, so risk of addiction is very low with weed or cannabis, but with opium it's very high. People once they have put on opium, they just can't stop it. So these are the various differences. And the difference, I'm sure it should be clear to you by now, that weed or cannabis has very low addiction profile, whereas opium or morphine has very high addiction profile. And cannabis is used as cancer, has used in cancer by like Rick Simpson. He was the one guy who actually made cannabis famous, and that goes by RSO oil. So that is very famous for cancer and for AIDS, chronic pain, epilepsy, and so many things. Opium, as we know, it is used for pain and also from various moods, and it is highly prescription drug. Now, what what have plants to do with us, with the living organism? These are the two plants which are so important, and they have an enormous effect on all living beings, whether they are humans or animals. The endorphin system and the endocannabinoid system. Endorphin system based on opium, and endocannabinoid system based on cannabis. I'll tell the details as we go ahead. So, as the history says, that endorphin system, Sumerians were the first people to use opiates, and in 2000 BC, maybe in India also, Chinese have described about cannabis, and we know about bhang and how it is. In 1801, morphine was isolated, but THC was isolated from cannabis only in 1964. In 1973, they identified opioid receptor, whereas cannabinoid receptor took time, and it was identified in 1988. And then in 1976, the whole endogenous things were found, enkephalins, endorphins, and all their actions and how they act. And then it was very late. It was as late as 1992 where endogenous cannabinoid system was, identified by Raphael Michelem. Now, by this Colaveri, why is this plant being illegal? We know that cannabis has been in use in India, in China since 2000 BC, or maybe before that. We really don't know. We don't have the documentation. And in Indian society, cannabis is used very wide. It is used in the form of ganja or like dum, but that is banned. Flower is banned. Resin, charas, bhang, we know seeds and leaves are used. And Indian drinks, we all know it is being used in Holi, and we use that all the time. This interesting thing that I've mentioned here is that there was this study conducted by All India Institute of Medical Sciences to find out how many people in India use, rather North India, I would say, use cannabis in various formulations, and they found that 7.2 million were using cannabis in various forms, whether it is smoking or it is resin or the various forms that are available. And why this Colaveri? Again, Indian law, they see so much of ganja and so much of hashish, and they just destroy it, whether it should be actually given for the medical purposes. Now, why cannabis? Okay, we go know the mythology, we know its significance, we have used it in Holi, we know the mythology that goes with Bhagwan Shiv, and it is reported in the history that after the tandav that he did, he needed to cool down, and he went under the bushes of cannabis, and that's where the aroma of cannabis, which was radiating, it cooled him down, and he could sleep and he could come out of tandav. That is there. And why cannabis? Because as I told you earlier, like as we have endorphin system with opium, we have endocannabinoid system. It means that we humans produce cannabis-like substances in us. And again, why cannabis? Religion doesn't ban. No religion has banned cannabis, but it has banned alcohol, it has banned tobacco, and we even know it is in some religions even garlic is banned, right? So still, why the collaboration? Why is cannabis being treated with such a big, stigma? I really don't know. And what we can do is we use it to stay healthy and free from diseases. So let us know something about what is endocannabinoid system or ECS. It is a system which is there in our body, and it helps in homeostasis, keeping the whole human body into a harmony, whether it is temperature, whether it is breathing, oxygen levels, all these things. So all these are part of homeostasis, and that's what endocannabinoid system does. So there are CB1 receptor and CB2 receptors. CB1 receptors are found in brain, commonly in central nervous system as well as in spinal cord. And CB2 receptors are found everywhere in body. And what does this do in normal circumstances? People who don't take uh, cannabis at all. We have this endocannabinoid system, and it helps in sleep. It helps in appetite, especially enjoying the appetite. It helps us protect from all the noxious substances, and it makes us happy. It is euphoric. Otherwise, also what we call as exercise high. When we do exercise, we feel, oh, we have achieved something. If somebody says, oh, you have done something good, we feel high, we feel fantastic. And that is where the endocannabinoid system kicks in and makes you feel that high. So let's see some more details about endocannabinoid system. So endocannabinoid system is across the whole body. You go into brain, you go into heart, liver, muscles, bone, reproductive system, GI tract, everywhere. It is there everywhere. Okay. And this THC, which is there in cannabis, which was the first molecule identified in the lab from cannabis, was THC, and this THC mimics anandamide. It looks anandamide. And what is anandamide? Anandamide is that substance which is produced by our body. Like we have CB1 and CB2 receptors, we have anandamide as one molecule and 2-AG as another molecule. So this THC mimics anandamide. It's very similar. Okay, and then you see here the endocannabinoid system being listed, the CB1, CB2 receptors, the whole lot of things are there in that. Okay, so you have so many different receptors for that. So I'll keep it only for the doctors to get a look of it. Okay, and like how does endocannabinoid system affect? It will affect us via cannabis, and cannabis contains so many different compounds in that, and the main compounds are CBD and THC, as we all know. Okay, and this THC and CBD, we call them as phytocannabinoids, and the cannabis-like substances that our body produce, it is known as endocannabinoids. And there are synthetic cannabinoids, synthetic drugs, synthetic THC that is available. And as I told, that this endocannabinoid system is in each and every part of our body. It is also a part, integral part of the normal lactation, the milking process. Anandamide and 2-AG, they activate the same receptors as THC. They even enhance the production of milk. They even are found in the normal breast milk. That's why colostrum, the first part of milk that when the pregnant cow is, they use in a very religious ceremonies in India. So it contains lots and lots of endocannabinoid system. Okay, so now coming back to this another question that most of the people ask is, what is the difference between CBD, THC, and so on? So in that also we have the whole, the whole plant's content, and the whole plant contains more than 500 plus molecules, whether it is CBD, THC, alkaloids, and what we call as terpenes. All this together, there are 500 plus compounds in cannabis. So when I say full spectrum, it means it contains each and everything of this. And broad spectrum is like, it is, though still that is an upcoming process, but broad spectrum is where you don't have THC, but you have rest of the things in it. And then you have CBD isolate, you have THC isolate, and those are not available in India, but those are also there. Okay. So as the cannabis plant contains all this, the parent molecule in the in the plant is CBGA, cannabigerolic acid, we call. All these molecules are present in acidic form in raw cannabis. And once they are heated, these are liberated. That's why you see that cannabis is always consumed via smoking, via heating, or you need to heat it at a certain temperature to liberate the acidic molecules and to activate the usual molecules like CBG, CBC, CBD, THC, all these things. Okay. So again, I have put up one slide, small here, slide for you to understand what does full spectrum do. Full spectrum actually it causes entourage effect, and again this was discovered by Raphael Mechoulam. He discovered that when we use the whole cannabis plant as such with the full spectrum, the effect of it is remarkable. It is on each and every aspect of our body. It stimulates the normal physiology as well as it stimulates the it can eradicate the disease. So that entourage effect, it is a huge thing. I think again, if you want, we can do it in some other days. So that entourage effect is that what I see, what I like in most of the patients. So I prefer full spectrum rather than isolate. So what, like the isolates, if you ask me isolate, yes, like we have Elixinol, we have the CBD isolate oils that are available. Okay. We don't have THC only isolate in India. Now coming back to the addiction protocol, again, I would like to tell you what Bob Marley said. Cannabis, no violence, no hangover, no regrets. All you get is happiness. And that's here it is. You have this chart where the common substances that are being used as, for the routine habits that they form, like tobacco smoking, drugs in the form of heroin, cocaine, alcohol, caffeine in the form of tea and coffee, and see the dependence, how much it is. Cannabis has very, very low dependence. It has very, very low withdrawal potential, and it has little more intoxication than caffeine or nicotine. And this, you should understand that cannabis is not, it doesn't cause dependence. It does cause intoxication, but the intoxication ratio is lower than alcohol. Okay. So then again, I would like to say about what Bob Marley says. When you smoke the herb, it reveals you to yourself. As I told, that smoking releases the active principles of cannabis, the CBD, the THC, most importantly, the THC. Okay, now let's compare with the therapeutic ratio with other medicines that are commonly used. So we know that, heroin is banned. It is used only as a drug. It is a drug of high potentials. I feel very sorry for our kids who go and, they're addicted to this kind of things. So when you see from below heroin, then you have alcohol, where the addiction potential and the therapeutic ratio is very small. Okay, it is still toxic. Alcohol is still toxic. This dextromethorphan is a common content which is there in cough syrup to suppress the dry cough. Okay, even that has addiction. You see that the moment you stop giving cough syrup, the cough is back. Methamphetamine is party drug, MDMA party drug, again cocaine, codeine, methadone is being used as a painkiller. All these things. Ketamine, caffeine, phenobarbital is as anti-epileptic drug. It has the same potential that frisium has or other things has. And we have to understand the schedule. The schedules are, which are according to the Indian law. There is Schedule G, where all the hormones are, included. And Schedule G, it is written, it has to be written on the prescription that it is dangerous to take this preparation except under medical supervision. But still, how many people they use OCP without any prescription? right? Now come to Schedule H drug, in which all these sleeping pills, even all the prescription drugs come in that. And this Schedule H drug, we all see that whenever we buy antibiotic, it is written on that. This is Schedule H drug to be sold by retail only on the prescription of retail medical practitioner. So the onus is sent on medical shops. But we see that you can buy any drug anywhere, whichever you want, any antibiotic, any sleeping pill, alprazolam you want, you'll get it. You want any kind, you get it. Okay, and this there is one additional which is included as Schedule H1, where they have grouped some new antibiotics so that it should not be commonly used, and that it requires the pharmacist to keep a record. I think that those are the only antibiotics that they don't sell. And where is cannabis? Cannabis is in Schedule E. It is only in Schedule E as per the Ayush schedule. It is not at all with the schedule as per the modern medicine. So Schedule E says, or Schedule E1 says, that you need to consume this product only under medical supervision. So if you have a medical issue, you can, anytime consult any medical doctors, and then you can use these cannabinoids for your general health. And again, my friends, they know this, I've posted this a lot of time, that sometimes we feel, okay, we give frisium, we'll give this, we'll give that, we'll give this for seizures. But sometimes cannabis can stop their seizures much faster and with relatively very less side effects. So once now that thing has come, so I have to discuss about its importance in Ayurveda. Even Ayush has not understood the importance of bhanga or cannabis in Ayurveda, because there are about 250 formulations and all have gone into vain. I feel really sad. And without cannabis included in those formulations, how can you expect to cure them? So that's why we see that most of the Ayurvedic medicines like Bhilwadi Churn and all those things, they don't have that effect like it should have. Okay. Now coming back to, is there any research going on in India? Yes, there is research, and the research is on mostly on cancer and palliative care, cancer related pain, and the research is done by the Central Council of Ayurveda in Ayush, and the research is being done by AIMS, and along with Patanjali. The research is done by Boheco, and we have our own clinical research that over a period of time, I have been doing that. Now, what are the uses of cannabinoids? What are the common uses of cannabinoids? It is the best anti-inflammatory medicine that one can have. It is the best medicine for chronic pain, as good as what we call as pregabalin, or still better than that, without side effects. It improves the appetite, as it is there in Ayurveda, that it improves the digestion, it improves the appetite. It is very good for cancer-related symptoms, cancer-related pain, cancer-related nausea, vomiting, cancer-related constipation. For all of this, we can use cannabinoids. Definitely, THC causes sedation, so it is very good for sleeping aid. Again, it improves the digestion. It can be used in all kinds of arthritis, rheumatoid arthritis, rheumatic arthritis, even osteoarthritis, and not to tell anything like seizure disorders. It's one of the best medicine for seizure disorders if it suits the kid. And many more. When I say many moments, it's really a huge number. Multiple sclerosis, then Parkinson's, stroke rehabilitation, all kinds of pains, all kinds of soreness, everything. Okay. Now, what are the formulations that are available in India? These are the formulations that are available in India. It is available in the form of capsules. Okay. It is available in the form of extracts. It is available in the form of the oils also. And if you want to get into the details, you want to see, these are the sites in which you can buy any of these medicines. The cbdstore.in, the canameds.in, and of course, vediherbals.com, where who are the pioneers in India. They have all the product range, starting from capsules to oils to extracts, and doses ranging from 500 milligrams to 4,000 milligrams, of such a wide duration. These are all available in India. Okay. Now, coming back to the side effects, if you take, what are the dose related side effects? I think if anybody wants to giggle, why should we stop? Right? If a person who is in cancer and he is in pain, he's in depression, if he takes cannabis and he's laughing, he feels happy. So I don't take it as side effect. That is the euphoria, and I like the euphoria, euphoric effect, especially in chronic diseases. The other common side effect that we see is cotton mouth, as if the mouth is dry and you feel the cotton has stuck up. Then the dose related another side effect is red eyes, especially with THC, you get red eyes. Then when the doses are high, it can even cause the short-term memory loss. It's a short-term memory, but the long-term memory actually improves. Then people tend to become lazy because of the sedative effect. It can enhance anxiety, especially the THC. It can enhance the anxiety, it can enhance the schizophrenia, it can enhance the paranoia, and this, and it can increase the panic if we use high doses of THC. Now, I think I'll will have the discussion. We'll take questions. So I welcome you all to be part of this revolution of cannabis. I hope that I've answered most of the doubts that you had. And cannabis is the least is a drug which is least dependent with slight toxicity is